Geniuses versus Newbee should be an exciting series. Although a lot of you probably thinking Newbee's not that great of a team, they're looking damn fine coming into this match. I'm Love Down Under. We've got Locadell on stats, and we've got Scant helping me out with the commentary. What are you expecting here, Scant?
Newbies turn to ban.
Would be surprised.
Evil geniuses turn to ban.
I should have seen that one.
I mean, you used the word dropped 4 times, and I'm just sitting here like, it's 6 a.m. Who am I? No. I agree, but they have had some time now. There was a big break between the games. Given how EG works, how smoothly as a machine they seem to operate with both, their managers and the team, I'm sure that they spent some time looking over the drafts that Newbee has been pulling out, doing some analysis before this tournament and on the games that Newbee has played before this. So I wouldn't be surprised if PPD has some insight into that.
Not the
Newbies turn to pick.
Very is the third, so not seen
10 seconds
decided to be just a make at the moment. It's like it's generally accepted that die and first pick are the two that you want. So I'd be interested to go back and try and find out, like infer. Maybe I've been choosing Radiant a lot. It's not something I've noticed before, but I definitely saw that they chose Radiant this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get to figure out what exactly happened last match because since it was 2 Chinese teams, all of the who's picking what was on in characters on the screen, so we didn't really. I didn't have a great idea of who picked what, but we'll see going in. Lone Druid opening, pretty dang strong. It's a good hero always, but Newbee opening with Lena, we talked about it earlier. Chuan very comfortable on this hero.
Yeah, Chuan very good Lena. Mu can definitely play in the mid lane as well. Chuan is all they play Lena. Yeah, like his
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Without
Evil geniuses turn to pick.
Makes me think.
Yeah. It's also something where I feel the Sand King with some new item introductions, obviously accept to upgrade the Aether Lens being introduced. King has become a lot. It can be used more utility. Can be a better hero, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. There's more cool things you can do.
5 seconds remaining.
Invoker.
Newbies turn to ban. Evil geniuses turn to ban.
And we see confident in his Sumail's here, confident that it's easy here. Quietly just giving the 2 main the other. It's
10 seconds remaining.
It's, you say it's unusual, but we've actually been seeing it quite a bit in this tournament. It surprises me too. A lot of teams prefer to kind of hold their hand back, not let you know, hey, this is going to be us going for a mid-game fighting lineup. This is us going for the early push. You're playing for the late game, so that specific heroes aren't banned out. Throughout this tournament, we've actually seen quite a few. I've seen quite a few teams pick up the 2 cores first, and I'm not quite sure if it's meta changes, if it's just drafting changes, or as you said, if you don't pick up the Lone Druid and Invoker now, they're gone.
Yeah, that's actually a fair point as well. Invoker's been banned against most teams.
Turn to pick.
Like we can be like nail.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Team will pick thing.
Reserve time.
I want to tell them like maybe that and
Witch doctor.
actually
Evil geniuses turn to pick.
again. So when EG like the most every pick and the game big
Yeah, it's a very comfortable hero for PPD. I think the other really interesting thing, at least to me here,
10
is that
seconds remaining.
Newbee, again, we're talking about it. EG shown what they want as cores.
5
Newbee,
seconds
this could be
remaining.
Lina mid, this can be Lina support. Sand King offlane, Sand King support. Doctor's support. There's a lot of
Reserve time.
flexibility still in this draft, and I really like that.
Yeah, there's definitely that flexibility. And you're talking about how EG are likely to be prepared. Well, they would have, like, someone would have scouted and taken notes. But I actually think Newbee will be more prepared for EG, because I think that before the tournament even, Newbee would have studied EG, and EG might not have actually studied Newbee. It's something that I've noticed about EG is that sometimes going into a tournament, they, like, teams that they don't see as big threats, they actually don't prepare that much for them.
Evil geniuses turn to pick.
And wow, Newbee take out the Chaos Knights in the fourth pick,
So,
which that is a
This has been
pushing
bad
hero.
against them, you know? Everybody's
Yeah.
been betting the Chaos Knight against them, and it gets through here. We said maybe EG not doing some of their homework, but also, I just want to point out, you know, the kind of the obvious elephant in the room. EG is considered one of the top teams, you know. They have been placing very consistently. They just won a small tournament called TI.
10
I
seconds
imagine a lot of teams have studied them, especially in the Chinese scene where, you know, teams talk to each other
5
about other
seconds
teams.
remaining.
It's easier for Newbee to research EG than it is for EG to research Newbee.
Reserve time.
That's like the second very thing. This is a hero that's sort of easier to just wins. You're I think not like and we to do in game 2 again because I was very is that
It sets them up for very strong lanes, and as you said, it's a very simplistic explanation. Win your lanes, going into mid-game, you're stronger. So, it also, I think, helps out a little bit. Witch Doctor, traditionally a hero, in a dual roaming pair, he can do a lot, but as a solo hero for roaming, because of the way the power and Bosk works, you're not always so great at securing kills, but when there's a Sand King as well, even if it's just Sand King being a support who's jungling, or if it ends up being, you know, in the offlane, if he's missing for a little bit, it makes your mid pause on the opposing team, right? Because you're like,
10
crap, could the
seconds
Sand King be
remaining.
going to kill me, etc.
Newbies turn
So,
to ban.
They just fall,
10
Take a pick.
seconds remaining.
especially
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
offlane. But
Evil geniuses turn to ban.
kids and that's completely that's gonna be so
I actually really like this. We just saw
10
in a
seconds
previous series,
remaining.
we also showed some stats on it, basically that the Earthshaker is doing quite well in
5
China
seconds
versus the rest of the world where it's not as good. But the support Earthshaker did so much work, and I believe it was the first Newbee versus LGD game.
Newbies
Not
turn
LGD,
to pick.
Newbee versus Vici, where there was an Earth Spirit who tried to do work, and Earthshaker sat behind their mid, made sure that their mid won the mid lane, and then you're good to go. Your mid's going around ulting people, feels nice.
Yeah, that's the one. No, I don't think so. I think if they're worried about their Newbee having strong lanes, then they want to have one of those supports at a lane. So to me, it's more likely that Crystal Maiden support Earthshaker's off lane, and they're going to pick another support. But again, the weakness of that is that an off lane Earthshaker won't do very well against the Chaos Knight lane. I think it's one of the harder lanes for an off lane Earthshaker. So it's tricky. I mean, I think why Newbee bans hide is they're like, these guys are going to change Earthshaker into support because they don't want to run it against our lane.
How much experience has Lee had draft? Obviously,
I don't know. I should know this. I don't know if he drafted for Energy Pacemaker. I think he's drafted almost exclusively since he joined Newbee.
Yeah,
but
I knew that. I just wasn't sure if he drafted on his old team, because it's just something interesting to see, as you mentioned, kind of a newer drafter by all means, and then the much older drafter in PPD. Okay. Well, other than that, as you said, Newbee takes a lot of time on this. We are burning down the time. This is very unlike the set we just had, where Newbee and Beast go back, completely knew what they wanted to pick up, and it's going to be the gyrocopter.
Turn to pick.
Which I say question mark. Is another mid gyrocopter? I've already seen one of these today.
No, this go and I just try Chaos Knight, and probably just sits safely on. I actually should, because there's people who care with the loan matchup. It's
10 seconds remaining.
Loan easy. So maybe it's Earthquake or
5 seconds remaining.
Actually win all then if they go that aggressive inside. That's what I
time. 5 seconds remaining.
Sven stands ready.
Lay drafted end of Pacemaker. The person who drafted before him was bo2, who's unplayed, came from Energy against this team. And like a little drafting practically, and maybe it's part of the big difference in Newbee lineup.
I have to credit it to a lot of different things. I also do agree with you, though. If two members come from a team where they previously had good synergy, it'll be Universe has picked up the lone druid. Okay. Very interesting. They can still swap around.
Yeah, maybe get a stat about that. I don't think they will. I mean, Universe has played Sven before, but I think RTZ is their Sven play at the moment. But we'll maybe see a stat at the start of the game or something about. But I do think that it's almost always RTZ playing.
Yeah.
Universe played it once.
I believe RTZ recently took some records on the Lone Druid, is why, because he's been playing it so much, but we'll see. We've got a pause coming into the game. This is actually my first pause of the tournament. Boom, there. See? RTZ actually, that's why we were kind of expecting it. He has the highest GPM.
I mean, pretty sure playing it for them, it's like in a game where Universe played it. Pretty sure that all games RTZ was the one playing 100. Yeah. I mean, they shouldn't be surprised. EG like one of the stresses that all of the players are versatile, and they clearly figured that with maps and with speed they try. For example, it's much better if they play 100 play. Running 100 in this match would be a knife for their lane ejection, but they did adjust.
Is that the cauldron that Universe has? This mythical item I've heard so much about?
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, it is. It is.
It's the hat, which I don't know if you told me the story, but somebody told me the story about the cauldron, the worst cosmetic.
It was. It was the whole we could get was done what one wanted, and then they changed it. But we might
smoke.
Kill.
Oh gosh, there. PP on the CR. She's so slow. She's right in the stun range. Too late. Manages to get it off. Peter Pan Dam going down. One more auto. That was...
Not for whom does spell
I mean, the moment you run into a hero, they're probably dead, especially the CM with very little move speed. Luckily, even though it's first blood, right, it's an early kill on the CM of all people. It's not like they missed out on Invoker being able to get a rune.
It's gonna tell me I'm buying. Same. Sleep. First blood. If EG, PPD, or you wipe. Like, pop team. So,
Oh!
I'm gonna be happy if he also died.
And the good luck have fun's come out. Moo is on the Chaos Knight, and Lei is on the Lina.
PD.
Oh my goodness.
After the block, is he getting up here to go to the jungle? That's what they're expecting. They're expecting that he's gonna come straight up to the jungle. And he actually goes off in camp, by the looks of things, so.
Okay, they get a fissure onto Moo.
Oh,
Putting him in a little... Oh no, they want the curry. They aren't able to get the second auto attack. PPT should have a freeze coming out here onto Lei. Do they have any damage though? By the looks of it, not so much.
Hey, people smart guys from mistake stuff. That's like because they was very good. It's the fact that they might doesn't go to the real and really first.
So it is gonna be Chaos Knight in it. Oh, I feel good. Though it is, as you said, gonna just be in the safe lane and the off lane Sand King. Now, this is a really funky lane. I'm not sure whether this will work for them, but I like that it's innovative from Newbee.
I mean, it's funny, I had this conversation with someone else recently. It's not that innovative actually, this is just old school. Like, there was a stage at which, mid lanes, Chaos Knights were very, very normal. They were all with Lina, Wisp, or Ancient Apparition. You basically never see Chaos dual lane mid with anything else, but it's because you've got that blink to like initiate fights, and then you just like chain stun. So I mean, it is for like current mid game, it's innovative, but it's really just taking a page out of like some of the old school books.
Yeah. You can oh, did somebody just plant a little tree? I think he did. Split.
And it's very, very good at spitting solos. So it's gonna have to be this like the whole mid lane because he's order of that these heroes.
Yeah. Additionally, we can see just there that Sumail just by taking the reality rift, right? He took a huge amount of damage. There was also a chaos bolt, but that a lot of damage, and as you said, frees up the other lanes. They're going to be able to bully the lone druid, and the SK has a ball up in this top lane.
Yeah, now I'm talking Sand King be able to do well in 100 against Sven. He's going to be happy. The Sven, but they get it wrong. So as they stand, I think NewBee are definitely a slightly happier team with the Honestly, if you've been running on TZ on the Druid, then this would already be like, you'd probably have already felt NewBee like dominating every lane. So the adjustment is important, and lane stage, even though NewBee are a bit ahead, the lane stage is pretty close actually. For now, I need 2 minutes in the game. It's pretty close.
Yeah. And we are pause McPausedy. This is, I'm not kidding when I said this was my first pause of the night. We've been all raring to go. This is also a main stage game, so I don't know how much of this is for the other games. They have dedicated rooms. I don't know if you've seen some of the photos of the event, but they have dedicated rooms. They've been using all of the same computers, so then of course you don't need to change anything up, and I think it's possible here that changing things up has caused a few issues.
Yeah, it sounds like they had something they weren't happy with, or Sumail wasn't happy with, and
I think lag. I think there have been some issues with lag in other games I've heard, but I'm not 100% sure since we're not at the venue. But back into it. Oh. Or not. I shouldn't have said that.
I saw Sumail run back to his tower and then kind of idled there for a while, and it felt like he was just trying to test the lag. And then after a while they were like, I mean, he could be going back because he's scared of them going, but there's an invisible Earthshaker there, so I think that he's having some lag issue. And it makes sense then that the team's like, you know, if one of your players is lagging and they complain about it, then, oh, okay.
Yeah, this one is definitely changing computers. Let's talk game plan some, right? I feel like both of these teams don't have, unlike earlier today where we saw so many happy trees have been planted. I'm sorry, that's making me feel very good. So many teams today have had kind of, oh, this is a mid-game fighting lineup.
Play. Sorry, on.
Oh, Fissure on the wrong side mean Moo is gonna walk it off. But do you think you're waiting for big items on EG before you start something? Obviously, you want Sumel to get a good amount of farm so that invokes the snowball. But do you think they'll, as we mentioned a little in the drop, try to just group up and push early with the Zen, or do you just try to hard carry farm him?
I think it's EG. I mean, either way, the EG have looked at just offer themselves into position where if they can very hard, but not very to do. In fact, the bigger pressure on EG early on is going to be to like get, snowballed by Newbee's kill then. So I'm not too sure. It's a lot of the times happens in games that EG are in actually. That instead of a clear dynamic of like one team has a timing after hits, it's a bit more up in the air, and it depends on how the early game plays itself out.
I think, as you mentioned, that's some of kind of the key drafting. We saw earlier Newbee managed to take a series off of VG. I think that came through, as you mentioned. They had a draft in mind, but it had an ability to be more flexible when sorry, the chat was also chat lobby, all giggles. Their draft was more flexible and able to adapt, even though that they had a rough patch where they couldn't come online as early as they wanted, and then they said, hey, we realize that we can take a few good team fights if we try to force them into bad positions, and they did. They won, overwhelmingly with Static Storm and Echo Slam and so on.
Yeah, I think Churn was saying they got 3 more games, because it's this bit of 2 and then they have other one. I'm not sure about EG, and it's like, I think it's 10 now, so...
Yes, if it's 6 AM here, it is 10 PM there. And we've been casting for 10 hours, so that's actually really high. I'm keeping track. Well, this tournament started at noon. I have to imagine that the play stuff they had to actually do in the morning, everybody's exhausted. In case the viewers aren't updated, Spirit actually conceded their last set of matches because, one, they were already out, but also one of their players is incredibly sick, so it's... things are looking rough.
It was, right? I think last game and then conceded second one.
Yeah, maybe they just conceded the second one. I know that they're
out.
Yeah, they were out. It was
which
they
everyone
were
else
on...
in their group then. Because 4 teams go through.
Yeah, I mean, I think a match on that side still needs to be played. We still have another Newbee game after this, and I believe EG has another match after this, since both EG and Newbee had no match in the first slot of the day.
Yeah, and it's not just about you get it on stage, because Team X will still have a low bracket, Team in the upper bracket, and the next upper brackets. So there's still a lot to play for, even if like we're gonna say.
Yeah. And we've seen in these tournaments a bunch, right? Sure, you sometimes get stories like OG who make it all the way through the lower bracket, but it's not common. So, wow.
You see, PPD's made that video recording yesterday, and he was like unimpressed that they're playing inside a mall. So I think he's like, now he's maybe like further unimpressed. They have to deal with like key issues and that. Sort of I feel like those exclamation marks are kind of sarcastic. It's fine.
I don't try to look at that. I just look at the effigies during the pause. We're going to be seeing Tule take a stun there. The Sand King is dusted up as well, but PPD with no more mana and spells able to use, gonna let the Sand King get away.
Yeah, PPD not gotten much in far on the end stage. At the same time, he's really like, it does a job in the range. On the one hand, if you're not applying the pressure, then there's freedom on Newbee, and they might be making kills.
I think it's a little bit harder this game, as we already... Okay, Juan does... Oh, he's pretending to be an illusion.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like...
an illusion to the next level player.
If it works...
I think it's gonna work.
You think it's gonna work? Okay, this is actually really cool. Chuan, staying chill, pretending to be an illusion. He placed a ward. No. There is no pinging. There is pinging from Chuan. Oh, he eats the ward. Okay, now they have to know it's him, right?
Yeah.
So, that is a cute
It was
little
a really
play.
nice play to start with, but I think once he plays the ward, it's like, okay, the jig is up. But
Well, I think he was waiting for someone to come out a little bit further, right? That cost
so
is...
he just wants the DK. I mean, the CK just needs to see someone, but they keep sitting on the ramp all the time. That's why I placed the ward then. Like, oh, maybe I'll stim, but they went far enough for the CK to catch someone as the ward.
And nothing too much was lost. Looking across this map, you know, it's actually incredibly even. While the first blood has occurred, not too much since. Sand King is now in a state where if he feels so inclined, he can jungle. He's level 5 already, can grab up arcanes, actually has more than enough gold. He isn't heading... Is he rushing a blink? Okay then.
Radiant's top tower
It's
is under
an
attack.
unreasonable approach to the game.
No, if he's...
It does the kind of like snowboard plan, because then the game is not sustained. Those first few kills start interest of early banks often do snap.
Oh, he gets the stun out on Arteezy under tower. Gonna put in some good harass. Immediately the war cry does come out. So Arteezy will not take... He does, but will they be able to get in range? And Sandstorm not a stun. So... Okay, and well, that's all happening up there, and we're following that action. We're going to be seeing one go down here. The Chaos Knight out of position. Chuan going for it. He is maybe going to be in a lot of trouble. Rocket Burrow
There's a
coming from
cooldown.
behind because How is here. Cooldown will land on PPD. We have a big fight being split up. The Light Strike Array will hit on PPD. He'll go down. Now Chuan still needs to make it out, and Sunil stops chasing. And at the same time, we are going to be seeing... Yeah. He doesn't
nearly
have a
got
TP. Yeah, and he manages to get the TP out.
But also, I think that could have that thing being a little bit of to back and he could get it.
I do wonder how... Obviously, you'd love to get the kill there, but there's something to be said, but you really don't want to overextend if he is doing the Blink Rush instead of something safe like spending his gold, getting the Arcane. PPD is here with another Dust. Tule is actually pretty low, and he doesn't have the mana for the stun. Goes down, getting further away from that Blink.
Well, there's the I spoke about. The mana for is going to go for Sandstorm on my bets. Didn't even risk, didn't need to take.
Ooh.
Radiant's
Speaking
top
of
tower
risks,
is
they
under
have
attack.
rotated out the Chaos Knight. Again, he's gonna open with that Reality Rift, smacking away at Arteezy. The Maledict hits as well, but nothing else is aggroing him. There are so many creeps around, they can't get the tower to bounce on him. Arteezy gonna throw the Stormhammer out on Chuan, and that is not nearly enough damage in the Maledict.
Well, they
Bring him down.
forced Arteezy to eat his mango, so that's the victory they get out of that gank.
We all know how powerful the Mango Day is for the EG players.
Yeah.
Radiant's top tower is under
Now
attack.
now they've used it up, and we'll have to pay more, purchase more if they want.
So, something we haven't talked about is down here, Universe, because of the rotation of How to get the kill on PPD. Actually, there is no time to
Fear.
talk about this because, yeah, Fear. Reality Rifted, someone stealing that DD rune, and a Light Strike Array. Goodbye, Earthshaker.
Honestly, I'm surprised
Radiant's
that
middle
that's Fear's
tower
first
is
death of
under
the game,
attack.
because he spent so much of the game like around the Radiant Ancient camp, like by the river here. This is like really not a safe zone to be, especially when they're running a dual lane in the mid lane. So it's well played by Fear that he's, you know, been careful and somehow stayed alive up till now, but he does go down. In the meantime, we see Arteezy used his ulti just to farm, which is something that I saw Eternal Envy do first. I hadn't seen anyone else do it until I saw Eternal Envy do it, and not like I remember the first time I saw Gods, and I was just like, everyone should do that. We're an all Sven do that, and they really should. So if they pay attention, as Dota players usually are, we'll probably like start to be a normal thing that Svens just spam their ulti to farm all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't have a particularly long cooldown, and it's something actually quite similar to the other high impact ults, but in this case it's like you're not getting an opportunity to God Strength smack away at someone terribly often. It's very rare that in the early game it's going to be like, oops, used my God Strength, missed out on killing 5, so nothing to worry about. I wanted to mention Universe. So he's just farming away, pretty content. He already has a minus up.
He said that he doesn't usually play Druid, and what we're talking about is good to teach him.
Universe is one of the players. He is a very skilled offlaner. He's played so many heroes. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually had quite a few Lone Druid games up his sleeve, but
Yeah.
I do
He's just
want...
very good at he's just, you know, He's a great.
Okay, wait, we're having engagement onto RT, another reality rift in, but he has so much armor here. Laguna played Kazat as well. They still need the auto attack, and the cooldown gonna whip on him because of the war right. Moving extra fast, but PPD looking like he tanks the ganks, eats a fairy fire, but the auto attacks will do it. Do they have any more? Light Striker Ray hits on Kobe blind, and Fear looking dead, and now they're going around the back. They want RTZ. He does have enough mana for a Stormhammer, but this may just be delaying the inevitable. No more mana for the TP, even with tread switching. He's trying to eat his way to freedom. He's gotta go and hide, but Blaine just kills him off with the Dragon Slave.
You know what, this is, it's, okay, bot lane, there's also some fighting.
Oh, he's gonna epicenter, okay, okay, and Reality Rift as well, but they back on out. Oh, the bear, really well played there, but not quite enough.
Yeah, that completely broke itself before we it. But,
Scan, your bias is showing, come on.
But just for every player who
Dire's top tower is under attack.
that's just broken. Anyway, fights where RTZ got up. It's a fight where like Fiak put himself down, but then it's like because the save battle and so they end up dying.
Oh, they've both been revealed here, but they have a lot of spells. They don't have to close Sunstrike as well. How taking a lot of evidence, but does use some one charges, trying to walk it off. Is he gonna get out on 40 health? Apparently, yes.
Which just to return to my point, like carry player is really like it's a difficult skill to carry play, but in that position I think he just needs to TP out. Like forget about the shaker. But it's like part of being a good teammate is like, your teammate saved you. Okay, can I do something to save him? But I think part of being a carry player a lot of the time is to like make that a one-way relation and just like if there's any risk to yourself, get out.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I don't think they said for knowing when to be selfish and knowing when to call the team. And Fear do a very selfless thing, unfortunately not paying off. But he is gonna have his Tranquil Boots. It is late. It is late o'clock. Brain, come on, work. He has his Tranquil Boots up. This is going to help with some initiation. Not as good as a Blink, but it is a good positioning tool. On the other hand, 5-man smoke rotation. As we saw already, they have the Blink Epi. Oh no. Actually don't have Epi up. Yeah. He will be block on, stunned on the bear. Does of course have that Savage Roar, but not in the right place. And Universe. Rocket Barrage down.
That's something the other team is punished. I saw punished with PG. Time of red beginning. It's very good, but sometimes farming pattern is too obvious. We know he's been farming all game. Could deep say he was farming. We're not farming his main jungle, so pretty good bet that if we go to the jungle near the camp, we'll find him there.
Yeah, and for me, it's a little uncharacteristic actually. PD getting caught out, does have a haste rune, but has taken a lot of rocket barrage damage there. The Maledict, okay, not going to be enough to take her out because of what level. Although this rocket, I'm assuming level 1. We'll see.
He might
PPD. Okay, Maledict does the trick. So much.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So they're gonna try find out TZ here, and oh, Churn's done. I mean. Leia's stun, sorry. See, this is, we had the conversation about Churn doesn't miss his stuns,
but Leia does, apparently.
Yeah, it's the Churn Doctor, which again is also a Churn hero. I mean, they picked like 3 heroes that could be support, and they're all heroes that Churn's really good at. And I sometimes wonder, like in that position, how do you decide which one he plays? Was it just like, what does Leia feel comfortable playing? He wants to play Lina, okay fine, Churn will play the other one.
For context, folks, we just casted in Newbee versus Vici. Chuan did play the Lina, did not miss a single Light Striker raid with, he didn't have a Yules or anything, just unassisted. Now, y'all gonna see that with all of this happening, there's a lot of space for the Invoker. Now, TZ isn't farming poorly either. Invoker also has had his Midas up for a while. His levels are pretty good, although actually not as high as, I was expecting. Some heroes on Newbee doing quite well too.
I mean, we've had very little to say about Samel. His farm is fine, but like, he's a really great Invoker player, and I think it tells you that it's more than the scoreline does about how Newbee are kind of ahead in this game, that we've hardly had anything to say about Samel. There was a game earlier where Miracle played Invoker, a few actually, and it was kind of like, I mean, I think one of them might have been one we cast. No, was it? No,
we haven't, but I did cast one the first game of the day. Secret got Invoker on Weehaw twice.
Yeah, so Weeha's a good Invoker, but Miracle I think is maybe the one who could be better than Weehaw. And there was a game that I watched, I think it was OG versus Veach, I'm not sure. It wasn't one I was casting. And the entire game was just, casters just looked at Miracle, because that was like all that mattered, what he's doing. And Sumail's been the exact opposite of that this game. I mean, it's not necessarily like about his play. It's just like, maybe you have that much control of the game early on that, I mean, you have a hero, you have Sven and you have Lone Druid, which both just want to farm until they get key items.
Okay, we have a deep initiation onto PPD. This is 4 behind a tier 2 tower. What is going on?
But this is exactly the point. So Sven and Lone Druid can't. Earthshake is like just a fish at the day. So when Crystal and Book can make plays on their own, I don't think they can. That's the problem. Because of the way Newbee are playing, they're grouped up in pairs, triplets or quadruples or whatever. There aren't really, there's not much room for their Book to do anything.
Oh, the stun comes out on Ortiz, but as you mentioned, the fissure, they have to find a way across it. Reality Rift will do that. There's going to be a cooldown, and the Laguna, but the cooldown completely whipping Ortiz, working on just walking it off, and at the same time, in the mid lane, okay, it's looking like Ortiz, and a lot of he's going to go down, and in the mid lane, we see a light strike, or sunstrike, coming out onto Juan. The auto attacks have it. So, EG finally getting a kill after what feels like yonks of just Newbee taking over this game.
Yeah, Sumail finally found something to do, but I mean, losing a Witch Doctor for the enemy Sven is perfectly fine here.
He also took him tower, which is opening up this job for some map control. And also, most importantly, helps some with Roche control.
That's a good point. Still, I feel like EG, I mean, they need to get to those item swings on their Lone Druid, on their Sven. Looks like Lone Druid going away for the Radiance. Sven needs to finish BKB, which he's not that far from, and they need some levels on Earthshaker. Dearly, that seems really far off.
Yeah, he's gonna, I mean, this is not the type of game where you, as you said, you try desperately to work on the blink. You might end up with the force stop, you might end up just running around with the soul ring and a lot of woods. PPD has actually had a lot better game than feared. You expect this, you have the jungle mechanics of the CM, so you're hoping she can make up some for it, but still, only level 8.
The thing about Newbee's draft with all the stuns we're talking about is like, a lot of the time, so right now Newbee represents a threat that if they're 5-man, EG can't really 5-man against them, they won't win 5v5. And usually your response is that it's the push, but Newbee's 5-man is not strong because of ultis, really. I mean, CK is the only big ulti, to some extent the Sand King. And so, because they've got all these short cooldown, like stunning abilities, they also have pretty good catch. So EG are stuck in a difficult position where you can't really take them on 5v5, but dangerous when they split up to 4.
Sumail is able to get under the tower. Do you think they know that this Aegis is being taken? NG?
I don't know if they know. No, they're playing very defensively, I don't know. But even if they knew, they definitely couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, you're right, and I'm pretty sure based on these TPs that they thought perhaps a smoke was coming into their jungle. Newbee actually have used up all of their smokes for the next 4 or 5 minutes because they used a bunch in quick succession. But this sets up nicely to start sieging down tier 2s, and probably will just, I imagine the game plan, you siege down the tier 2s, the Aegis naturally expires, or you hopefully take an advantageous fight, and then you wait for the next Roche.
Yeah, and I was actually, so I mean, Newbee are in a great position. I was actually chatting to someone on Twitter, between series and this. We kind of agreed that the one major weakness of this Newbee game, even though they've come to become a bit of a boss again, and people haven't actually expected that, is that they sometimes get into advantageous positions with a good win, and they change their plan a bit too much and end up losing. And I feel like when they lost against Vichy in game 2 earlier on, it was very much a case of they were dominating in terms of aggression, and then they Spectre decided how I was like, actually I'll just go for Radiance, we don't need to keep the momentum up, and that allowed Vichy space into the game. So that's the thing to watch out for in this game, I think, for like, if they are in a great position, if they keep doing their thing, they'll probably keep being in a great position. But if they, you know, adjust their plan and in a problematic way, or if they just drop the ball for a bit too long, EG definitely have the tools to get back into this game in like a very big way and take the lead.
Now you mentioned changing their plan too much. It is something where we can see that CK has picked up a Midas. I think, obviously CK is not a hero who farms super fast, you know what would be free cleave like a Sven. Do you think maybe he should have just rushed the omelet?
Yeah, I mean, so this is a very tough thing. It's, to some extent, it's like they're pressuring, they've got a lot of momentum, he should just buy an item and do things. At the same time, I don't know if the Cons is changing their plan, because I don't think their plan is to win the game right now. The only pushing element in their lineup is actually the CK itself. And so they definitely inevitably need to get items on the Chaos Knight. So I think the Midas pickup is pretty fine, just exactly that reason. Like, he's the hero who needs items so that they can go high ground. Otherwise their lead's never going to convert into actual push.
Yeah, and Newbee looking ready to take another tower. EG, they've been on the back foot, you know. I think some might be like, oh, what's EG doing? They're not really making anything happen. I actually think they're doing the right thing here. They're trying to farm up, get items, so that when they come to that, you know, one big team fight, they're able to win it. But oh no, another stun from the SK, and here comes the epicenter Laguna Blade as well. Universe blown off the map.
Yeah, he did buy his relic before that, so a bit closer to the Radiance. Arteezy, of course, has also finished his BKB. So the last thing that I pointed out, which was a key ingredient for EG, is that they do need Fear to get into the game somehow. Ideally, he wants to be able to get to Blink Force and also get to, I don't know, level 11. Newbee are unrealistic and not going to give that space, and even if they go for the Midas on the Seek, they're still going to go for objectives. I think they plan to go back and contest the EG split push as well.
They're also managing to stay ahead in both net worth and farm. You expect the net worth with the towers all falling, but the farm, the experience staying up is really impressive. Here comes a TP rotation in. They're going to scout it out with some of those Suns, and Lei just, you know, gonna actually quite a bit of damage because welcome to Forge Spirits.
Yeah, but at the same time, again, we got to speak about Berkeley's. His farm has been good over him. But like, when last do we have anything to say about him? It's welcome to Forge. It's like I mean, it's okay. Like, EG have ended up being pushed into a position in this game where what they have to do is farm, and you could argue that that's what their draft was always going to do, because you just fit Alone Jordan and Invoker into your cores, even though Earthshaker being kind of passive. Unless the lane stayed really well for them, it was likely that EG were going to end up doing a lot of farming. So you might argue actually that like M is going somewhat according to EG's plan. They wouldn't want to be this behind, but it's not like that strange to them that they ended up doing a lot of farming to try and recover. And as I said, they're getting, I mean, the Radiance is nearly up on the bear. The Sven's got BKB, his next item coming soon, probably a Blink.
I think there's something to be said for being incredibly patient here, right? Albeit EG have sacrificed a lot, there's no denying that they are in a precarious position with the fact that they have no longer got any tier 2 towers. But at the same time, if you think you can afford that because your lineup was greedy, Sven already went the BKB. We've seen this before where sometimes Sven's, he can actually get the blink before the next team fight is up as well. Powerful initiation tool coupled with the fact that he won't be taking very much damage here since a lot of it right now, cooldown, the epicenter, everything coming out of Lina until she has her Ags, although she is halfway there. It's all magical.
Earthshaker's nearly got blink. That's a really big, like, I mean, that's, I really think that's kind of like the final toolbox for taking those fights. And that's, I mean, you're exactly right. EG have been patient, but they know their timings because they know that we could lose all our towers, we'll lose a bunch of heroes, but for the enemy team to go high ground, it depends on the Chaos Knights who needs to get more items. And so EG position themselves in such a way that they need to fight at the time that they know they'll have to defend their high ground.
This'll come in handy.
But speaking of this gear, his Midas is really paying off. He's almost got an entire BKB.
Speaking of,
I mean, is that, do they just wait for the next just after the BB and then just go high ground? Is that their timing?
I think they'll wait for Aegis just because they had a game earlier where, as you mentioned, the game against HE, it very much felt like it was Newbee's game to lose, and then they did make a couple of mistakes. They have a 10-second BKB on the Gyrocopter and the Manta. This Gyro, by the way, is very far ahead, playing exceedingly well. And also, as you said, the Chaos Knight has a BKB on the way. You wait for those two, depending on how Roshan feels today, will be up, long or short. And you also have, I think both teams have good Roshan hit fight, so maybe you get a smoke pick off again if you're Newbee, but at this point, yeah, as you can see, they're buying out their smokes again because they're refreshed.
Yeah, and lurking in the tree, and Lina, but gonna see the out now. No doubt.
EG's a bit too of an experienced team to fall for the trees in the side trick, but I think if they wanted that to work, they'd have to be like way up here. As you said, they're going for the smoke. EG, I also expect a team that may have taken the timings, although it did feel like they were off on when the smokes was. Oh no. They? Oh, they think they're doing Ancients.
I don't think that's smoke times. I mean, EG are quite advanced in terms of their support structure, many, but I don't actually have a coach analyst really that works directly, and that's
Radiant's
quite
top
work
tower
that
is under
this sort
attack.
of we usually do. They're gonna do smoke of their own. And honestly, even though you hit the key items, I still think that we should expect maybe to be further. Although the QB is not yet. He's far away, so it's definitely one glaring weakness in their fight.
And Tule is about to be wandered into by a lot of them if he's not careful. I believe they see Tule. They're continuing the push as well, but Universe isn't particularly backed up, and now they place a wall. They get vision, and he stuns away. He also has the Sandstorm to use, but of course you're expecting that they have some sort of detection. He is still leading the chase now. Moo coming in. Will we see finally the first Phantasm of the game? But he can't get across. They're channeling the Epicenter though, and Arteezy in a horrible position. No time to use that BKB, and a solo ult by Chuan throws out the dust onto Sumel. He will fall. Deafening blast that doesn't do too much, and there it is, the Phantasm. Didn't we really get an extra? Okay, first Phantasm of the game gets an extra dude. It's fine. It's just Moo things.
Oh, it's 50% chance.
Is it? This one is just random, right?
Random, but it's 50% chance. So
of course.
The Phantasm should of them. I mean,
Scant is actually a stats person, guys, so that was 100% real stats. Anyway, they're using the Phantasms how they should. EG does have short respawn timers, but as you mentioned, just people getting caught out there, BKBs unable to be used.
They're baited by that. I mean, so it's forced Puck running around and he would win the line fights just being Puck and slippery. So people would chase him and he all playing duels. Zankin, I think that they didn't even particular there. He was passed, but he managed to get there because he had the stun length so like are really bad actually, not the way any team ever wants.
Yeah, and even though I'm actually a little bit surprised by this, only 5,000 net worth behind for EG, but as we've talked about, they have been having a lot of trouble getting things done. They have great high ground defense, but that's not exactly what you want to be. Looking like they're thinking of smoking right on top of a ward.
Gonna smoke or I think they can.
They don't have Phantasm or Epicenter, although Epicenter, okay, as you said, Epicenter's right to be right back out, but now they use the BKBs coming out on Moo. They are just auto-attacking people down. There's a cooldown as well. Arteezy throws out his BKB, rips through the Witch Doctor, but at the same time they are losing a lot of other people. Universe taking heavy damage, stun flies out onto him. Arteezy trying to get over, but his BKB is gone. Sunstrike will not land on Moo, and Tule playing on such little health. He's looking for a spot, I think, to channel that Epicenter, but it is not. Arteezy brought down by rocket barrages, and this is perfect for the Roshan timing.
That was, I mean, either the smoke, but you get very well placed forward, it's come forward. But if all this played perfectly out, like, some teams here, they just retreat and wait, but they're strong spaces. If they can't forward snake off the gonna run this way because they see Jaro, and waiting at the high ground, and high ground when you know smoke's coming into you is just like completely. It's such a valuable thing to have.
Yeah.
And they fought as a result. There was a moment it looked like EG might still be flying. There's too much tactical advantage for Newbee at the start of the fight.
Ethan's being close finished for Tule. Another powerful initiation and utility tool for their lineup. The BKB, of course, shown off by Chaos Knight in that fight, and now he has another 2k gold to boot. And Witch Doctor getting close to a Solar Crest, which is just going to make life exceedingly unfun for this Sven.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really afford an AB time soon, that's for sure. Lone Druid also doesn't want to go for time soon. So, yeah, the other Crest could do a lot of work if that's what he goes for.
Have all of these D wards actually hit things? Because I only see one ward on each side and all of the wards on cooldown for both sides. Taking a look in inventories, okay, we do actually have a couple of wards floating around on people, but it looks like a number of D wards have hit for both sides.
Yeah, there's been a lot of trees going everywhere, but Newbee's with that lane just kind of won the fights. So
yeah.
Not about the quantity, sometimes quality.
Yes, that is, I believe what Juggernaut says to Sven when he kills him. Either way, we are going to be seeing this game. It's feeling further and further in Newbee's control. That one team fight put over a 10k net worth lead and over 10k experience. While before, I was definitely thinking maybe EG very patiently trying to hit their timings perfectly with big items. Those reveals on the items haven't been as overwhelming as I think they needed to be in these fights, and with an Aegis up on the gyrocopter for another 3 minutes, can they hold off this push?
I mean, it's both. The dilemma here for Newbee is exactly that. The one place they're likely to the game is at high ground, but it's also the place where they close out the game, guaranteed. The longer you don't high ground, the more chances you mess something up. Back high grounding is the easiest way to mess something up. So there's some teams, this is something that LG are brilliant at. LG will never lose a game from this position. They're very comfortable with, like, extending their lead, not making any mistakes, and then when they actually can finish the game. Newbee lacks that, I think. I think the one thing from them to like into pass in this again. So it's interesting to see the situation because it's a really important test.
Okay, as you said, the Forge Spirit is going to scout out how, and instead of actually finding anyone, can they get the jump with Tule? Can he stop any TPs? He isn't choosing, well, he's on cooldown, so he's going to be unable to blink bolts.
But he's waiting. I'm not sure. I guess to be able to come back up once they look at all little off, but it's a risk if they bother to look around.
I guess hoping the creep cut helps them out somewhere along the way.
No, so I mean he.
Oh, okay. EPD gonna go down again. Best hero to lose on the lineup of EG.
Yeah, it's the best thing that could happen for them, but really need some things to happen. And while Newbee to just like group us and the high ground, there's probably not a whole lot to happen for EG. We're up on they'll probably TP. I think they split value at this top lane. Maybe they don't realize
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
TP's come away.
Radiant structures are falling.
Here they go, and SK, he actually stuns up on the bear. Oh, another stun on the bear. Savage Roar, meaning that they are just going to wander away while Samil goes for the TP out. EG, I mean, achieved some good objectives there.
The gem there. The price they mail speed out and they deck the tree would have definitely got.
It's not the easiest area to check though, right? With the Sand King and Alina.
Yeah, I think they were just kind of tunnel vision on the bear, and then the Invoker had gone into fog, but the bear got away, and like, okay, Invoker probably beat us. It's a reasonable way. In that situation, I just feel like you can't very little to look. You should just look.
I am unsure. Obviously net worth and experience read out in Newbee's favor, but as you talked about, without an easy way to high ground, and this Aegis now probably expiring, yeah, it's about to expire, to wait for the next Roshan. This gives both the Lone Druid more chances of split pushing. The Sven can continue to get bigger and bigger. Arteezy should be having that baby crit up the Chrysalis, and soon we'll have the Daedalus if he so chooses.
Yeah, Sven is actually another hero that's very good at just having that one big fight where you like happens the crits off the DM and I don't know, everything changes.
Okay, we're gonna see a stun onto PPD. He does throw out a sentry. We're gonna play it down because he is incredibly good.
9 and 5. And you guys criticized Mr. Unstun. The laser.
He's actually doing the old, I'm a supporter who has a surprising amount of farm, and I'm going to transition into a call. Fly used to do it a lot during TI5.
Every lead stream. This is why I support BM1 to the Lena player, because it's like it's quite a natural hero to transition into get out of the kills.
But again, something saving grace sort of for EG. One, you can see that the farm is coming back into their favor. The Lone Druid, Arteezy as well, doing a good job getting the farm on, and Universe working towards that AC. If they do win a team fight like we talked about, or if Newbee try to take an uphill engagement and Universe just decides, hey, I'm going to push a lane, he will knock down these towers fast once the AC is up.
The way to evaluate the trade he's making, because economically it's actually increasing the need, which you usually expect. the map, they're far ahead. You expect to keep far ahead, and that's what I said they're good at. Because they're not actually increasing the lead. Only really evaluate the fact that they're biding time. It's what when they stop buying it. So when they finally go play it work out, I think it's totally just what they're doing. But if it doesn't work out, then breath that they'll go for sooner.
Ooh.
Or didn't control the map.
Speaking of regrets, Fear is seen but immediately goes for the TP out. And this is actually feeling a lot like the first game of the day that we casted was Secret, the first game of the day to be casted on this stream was Secret versus LGD, and it was a slow game until suddenly it had an explosive series of team fights. And this one feeling a bit like that. There are pickoffs here and there, but other than that one team fight with kind of the bait from the smoke, not feeling super explosive.
This is why managing to increase the farm lead somewhat is because you're just shepherding up, and each time you begin to use their TP out, and it does feel okay. Caught the act, even though they don't get the
He's able to use that Savage Roar. He does have a TP up now, has resummoned his bear. Yeah, as you say, it's only 2, and now more reinforcements are coming in for the lineup. PVG, Fissure onto Tule. He's gonna get smacked around. Echo Slam finally used. Laguna Blade comes out onto Fear as well, but it's not enough damage. The Invoker's gonna miss his spell, but not that one, and the cooldown not gonna bother him when he has a BKB up. Where did the gem drop? In the fountain?
I don't
I
know.
saw a ping on a gem drop, and Earthshaker has taken it. Yep.
So that's very costly actually for Newbee. What just happened? I wanted to some extent blame draw under still, because if not for such build the bear and probably get out or either way. But just we were talking about Lena's contract streak. It's not just you can say it's a support, but a big after 2 kills. Maybe even Newbee feel more nervous because they're walking around and like trying to hand people, but now maybe they just come up doing that, and that gives even more space to farm back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, you suddenly lost one of your big map vision tools. This is the Radiant Vision, guys. It's not great, and when we look at the Dire Vision, while it isn't extremely stellar itself, it's much better, and they're going to be able to get rid of that only Radiant Ward if they end up wandering on by it. Imagine they will. It's not as easy a game as it looks like for Newbee, right? They were so far ahead and just not feeling like they...
Oh, he didn't get in. No, they pinged him. Someone... Sean's like... There, man. Go.
Yeah, I don't think Moo cares. Moo more interested in farming. He has a heart.
Moo's like, wow, PPD is like just so beneath me to kill him.
It's actually a bit like Pylai Die when we were casting the secret game earlier. A number of times LGD took exchanges where they just got Pylai Die, and you're sitting there going, I think I lost gold killing this guy. I think I could have killed creeps in the time that it took me to chase this guy.
Yeah, and the role that these exposition is like, it's very misleading. Think good everything, but there's always trade-off when it gets to this stage of the game. You're exactly right.
The AC is up though on Universe, right? So now even if there's a bad fight being taken by EG, Universe can always use to kind of be somewhere else, get a tower down at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, right, the game closer and it's getting closer and closer, and especially since we know that this is exactly the stage of the game that Newbee sucks the most. It's a stage of the game that EG are very good, so very experienced. Newbee are gonna sneak another rock. EG is not they can contest because the third draw is best on the rock. Like you ran your spray in there, there's Savage Draw, they all pass in the same direction, get by your 8. But luckily for Newbee, EG didn't even bother. Probably didn't even know. It's Aegis and the cheese, I think.
Yes, and the cheese, they put it on the SK. I did want to mention that Sven very smartly building up that MKB. Oh goodness, there's gonna be a stun move. They also use the Echo Slam. He goes down, wasn't the one to pick up the Aegis because Gyrocopter has it. And that
can't buy back.
Yeah.
This is very risky for EG actually. If they force the buyback, probably a lot of deaths, but
Oh, we'll see. SK jumps in, has to use his full stop to get out, and it looks like, as you said, they're just poking away at towers. Will they end up losing the bear here? There is a resummon up on Universe, and the bear's not even in that much trouble. Coconut does hit RTZ.
EG would have liked for the buy, but I think it's like to act to commit a bit more, and then that's not buys actually all end up dying. So it's to go last. We got enough. We can't actually put the buyback.
And as you said, looking at this net worth graph, it is creeping closer and closer to being in EG's favor. After kind of a long game, you always have to remember the final objective is take down the Ancient. It doesn't matter about how many kills are on the board.
Oh, I don't maybe know that. I mean, they're probably as frustrated even because they know that this is the way that they lose games when they lose. They pretty much always get it into a commanding position. All of the games. In fact, Newbee lost their first game of the tournaments against Team Spirit when they're 10,000 gold ahead. Pretty similar story, in fact. Like, and then they stomped the second game, but it's extremely to see Newbee these days the way they play is not being ahead at some point. It's just a question of converting ahead into actual. Yeah, I mean, they're more than anyone else. This is their standard way of running games. And so, it has a weird like rebracing effect where I think they might even second guess themselves more because they know, hey, usually we lose from a position, and then like hesitant. Should we get to push? Should we wait to do? It can be a nightmare.
Now this is the second gem they bought up. This is now Chuan's gem. They did give one over to EG, of course. I want to talk a little bit about itemization on the Chaos Knight. Of course, we do see he went straight for the Heart. Are you Heaven's Halberd Chaos Knight now to try and deal with the Sven Stum? Obviously, he still has BKB, but you can disarm him. If it's after the BKB, the only thing that removes it is BKB. Doesn't matter that he has the MKB, because it's a disarm.
It's not bad. It's also good. He's looks like Universe building. No, actually, Universe is building a basher, right? I don't think we'll maybe. So Halberd could really either way. If MK can just do that. Mantis is very popular in this hero, but I don't know about it in this game. It's a great item. It's gonna like make the in the Sven and all the AoE more valuable. It's actually pretty difficult to an AC. I think an AC would be good for them too.
Oh goodness, we have a BKB pop coming out of Moo. I don't think that was on purpose. And now they're not even going to find PPD.
Yeah, he just found a drum. He just found a drum. Like...
Oh, it's, it is unfortunate, but these things happen, folks. You gotta just pick yourself back up and recover.
I mean, even if they kill PPD, that's like. And now they want to push.
You know, I'm trying to be nice about it. We both know I'm just trying to be nice about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's actually really rough, right? As you said, you're trying to push. You don't have BKB. You lost a full second on it against a lineup, which does have the significant amounts of magical damage. How is going to go in anyway? He has an Aegis, but he only has it for I think a minute and a half at this point. The bear taking some damage. How just taking all of this to the face? He may just burn down because of this. Even with the Voodoo Restoration, he gets very close. And he has a minute. He has a minute on this, so he has to use it or lose it.
Yeah, I didn't want to use it. That's why they because he has to wait for the BKB to cool down. And it looks like that frustration is up. They decided actually like slowly we want to actually do something. If it's lose a big fight, it'd feel even worse about it. And so maybe that the next level of second guessing. It's like okay, just gonna run out and like understand over here. But let's make things worse for us. It's just like it's how like the psychology can become. It's you're a team that's used to losing from a position where you're thinking even though it's ahead, you're constantly thinking about how to avoid losing your lead rather than how to fix the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be damaging. There's no like easy solution to it. Like usually what teams need, build confidence kind of thing, is just to have worked lots of times. They need to win several games where they're in this and they succeed in finishing the game. They feel confident.
I think as well, obviously we don't know the psychology in Newbee's team, but they do have some newer members, newer to being on such a big tier 1 team, newer to being on such a big stage. They have played a lot of games. I think both Newbee and Spirit actually two of the teams with the most games on this patch because they've had to play through so many qualifiers. But as you said, it still can be nerve-wracking. You play so many games that are so close and then they slip away from you.
Yeah, I mean, they've played a lot of games, so they can't also assess themselves well, and they know that this is the weak points of their team at the moment. I think it is gonna, the AC is one Chaos Knight. It's pretty big. I'm sure would also be ready for that. Something we talk about this game because we're talking about how farmed Lena was.
Yeah. It's true, and he'll get around to it after he buys a million utility items for the team. He's actually... What are you gonna say?
Big, just because EG have had so many things they have to deal with. And like, you add like suddenly one of you with that, but you're already trying to control this and kick the and because they're all such big hits. I think it will be a really big pickup this game. It is a lot of the time once he finds there.
Now, as you said, it could be a really big pickup, but I think both teams are actually, when you look at these lineups, right? You have, as you said, Chaos Knight with an AC on one side. You have Sven and Alacrity on the other. The Sven also hits pretty fast with some help from his team, as I said, Alacrity and Universe having an AC on his bear. Anybody who does a 5-man wipe, you're going to have to do 2 because at this state in the game we do have buybacks at the ready on quite a few folks, but whoever wins the next team fight can take a set of racks, maybe even 2.
I think that most like, we talk about their patience, that's the deal, but Steel's patience. This is a player who characteristically wants to go for kills. He wants to be aggressive, he always wants to kill people, and I mean, he's been holding his hand all game and just trying to make states with being patient, but I think the mature very quickly. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have a fissure out. Tule gets full stopped away, trying to get out. But now Moo deciding to go in. BKBs are popped everywhere. There's the Phantasm. They know exactly which one is the real Moo, but he doesn't care. He's working in on PPD of all heroes, and now thinking about going on Kobe. He's already quite low on this Chaos Knight. Needs to back out of the fight for a second to get the hold up. Selena does end up falling, and they've taken out the SK as well. Arteezy's BKB is gone though. How does have cheese and a Satanic, so he has plenty of opportunities to fight, but look at them ripping through him. He has to pop the cheese already. Not an opportunity to do that, and now the Witch Doctor, is he just gonna channel? I don't know such luck. Stormhammer immediately coming out. Arteezy getting awfully low here. The Maledicts should pick him off, but it's Hal against the world. He's already used that Satanic. Do they have the lockdown here? Slam comes and then a beautiful disarm with that push, and will he be able to catch out anyone here? Hal, he needs to auto attack so he gets health back, but no, it's Sumail who takes him down, and suddenly Gem on the deck. We're seeing Universe still alive. He is their pusher. Does he has a bear up? No.
How
he has 2 bears.
Part one pass, actually it's one the release. But position was the worst to start the fight because they maybe had commits to kill PPD again. There's points at which like you just give PPD a credit because sometimes the game usually ganks, and in that in the 2 minutes of the fight, I almost feel kind of putting myself in position. It's like kind of hard to kill him, so they don't go for him. And you know, it's a joke when we say that's for blood, good for him to, it's not good for him to die, but in that it's really, really good that they were later.
I think 3 seconds at least of the BKB was spent chasing PPD, right? 3 seconds of a Chaos Knight's BKB, which is down to 7 seconds. That is ridiculous value out of a CM.
You imagine in a game, like a crystal mate, after that happens, the person types was like this lowly crystal worth nothing, and you lose the because you want to chase after me. It's small victories for support players.
Illusion.
So it does also look like I think I have an update. I'm thinking, sorry, the admins are messaging about the schedule because these games are so late. It looks like the final round of the round robin will actually be played tomorrow. So the match after this will be the last of the day. We will unfortunately not get tossed. Oh. We may get the... I don't know who will be casting.
Isn't the last round of the day?
Yes. But that will actually be played tomorrow. I do not... I just don't know if we're casting it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's all be the BTS studios, so
Yes, but there are still 3 or so games that need to be played. So I do not know how many people are
just
needed.
keep it there, I reckon. Because that would be, for the stream, it was meant to be Viva's OG.
Yep.
Sounds like.
I was very excited for it. Either way, let's get focused on this game. Just wanted to give you guys an update about what's going on. So.
And we have broken the gold lead, and they just about to break the exit.
Yeah, I mean, they've been bringing this gold back for ages despite not getting kills. The experience is back in their favor as well. It's looking good. Okay, we're going to be seeing skerfuffling, and they're taking the last tier 2.
Middle tower has
Things are
fallen.
pretty dang even.
I mean, the way this game works, it's like the dynamic that it ends up sort of set in the game, and it would be not very comfortable, even though they're teammates ahead, and one G be comfortable, another team. One, again, the one thing that's down, Sumail in particular is maybe not that good. He likes to farm, but he didn't justify it. Well, get a fight here, because Newbee not happy to get rushed, but they
Oh gosh, no, the stun does come in from SK, the Roche still quite alive. BKB is popped by move. They had to fight everybody, but now the death ward on the high ground, and they don't see John. He's just getting this whole channel off. Oh, geez, he's put up in his BKB. Universe focusing on the Roshan. He manages to get that Aegis, and now Chuan, he is being blown up by the double spells coming out of Sumail. He is ripping right through people. BKB down on House. Sumail showing off his new one. A nice fissure stone, all of their engagements, and two on the wrong side of this fight. Moo, very low, trying to wait for that hot to regen him up. It ends up being a 2-for-1. And the Aegis going the way of EG. I have no... Okay, it looks like Lone Druid got the Aegis and the cheese. What a greedy boy there on Universe with the epicenter. It's cancelled. The channel is cancelled by that fair again. And now Universe, is he going to kill them all off? Sumail helping out. How? He doesn't have Black Cannon up. He just has to rocket barrage away. And finally, the Crystal Maiden. Oh, we've all deserved. Gets the kill. And How going down. He is rooted. Oh. And that was a beautiful fight from EG. It looked so good with the initial stun into Roche from the SK, but not able to seal the deal.
Yeah, and they kill Sven, and Sven's the problem is that you've been farming for everyone all game, so they've got, in fair, 2 heroes that are richer than this. So he doesn't even, he didn't even, he was just like, fine, whatever, you go in the fight with me.
Yeah.
Speaking of buyback, Jar doesn't have any right now, so Axes are gonna die.
I mean, you're Sven, just walk right down, it's pretty fast. We're gonna be seeing Universe, oh gosh, did he just have the bear eat, no, he resummoned the bear. I thought he had the bear eat the cheese. I'm not even sure if that's a thing, because Lone Druid. Anyway, we're gonna be seeing another BKB popping out. Sumail takes a lot of damage here. You gotta be a bit careful, man. Full channel Deathwood, but they don't have vision. The sentry placed far too late, and on the bottom lane, they have lost a full set of racks. In the mid, they're beginning to lose the melee as well. Is there anything they can do here on Newbee? They forced a lot of buybacks as well. This is their last fight. We'll be seeing the Abyssal. Oh, he's coming out onto Moo. He is in a lot of trouble here if he doesn't back on up. And you can see their base being taken. Mega's getting close to, like, does the stun, but that is it. That's the deafening blast of Dreams coming out. Mega creeps all out. And suddenly, you're Newbee. Where's your way of dealing with Megas?
Decided to be clear anymore. And we're talking a lot about how they're weak from how to finish game. More formidable to the solve, how to, like, come. That's like, like how to take not to do one second at all. But so they store again and you know now to make a comeback is mega creeps. Something else.
So yeah, mega creeps. Sorry, this game, as we talked about, it came down to one big team fight, and then as we said, you lose your base. Everybody's so strong right now, and it's not even that Newbee is necessarily out, but they do have to win 2 team fights. Buybacks were expended on both Sumail and TPD. So you're sitting here going, hey, maybe we death rattle push? What's the word I'm looking for? This is 7 AM. Come on. Come on, Scant. There we go. That'll do. You know, you just go for the push down mid, and you have to.
You know, it's that. But they got mixed because Jared out the buyback to die. He said when he got a TP up.
Yeah, I saw.
Was like
I mean, there's some RNG there, but they also have, on the bear, I believe, yeah, they have an Abyssal. They had a Basher maybe earlier, so there were good odds of the root. Arteezy is going to maybe get caught out here. SK gets to go in big old stun, and they will bring out Arteezy again, but he still has buyback. Echo Slam coming out from Fear, taking a lot of damage here. He will go down to that Death Ward, and now will Camille. He doesn't have buyback. If he dies here, he's in a lot of trouble. He pops that refresher, and PBT with the ult coming out too late. He pops to it. Claws keeping them back into that freezing field. At the same time, their base in a lot of danger. In Universe, he's like, hey. Oh, okay. His bear is out of attack range, so he can't really full hay on their base.
Twice in a row, they have any reveal. They start trying to just put in a stash because they know, like, if they had killed someone, they actually made can from there. Because space gets to backwards. Invoke is very, very, very important.
Not only that,
he's got his down. I mean, are they getting to kill Sumail?
Yeah. I mean, they've gotten a number of chances to kill Arteezy. Just gonna hope Sumail decides to play into it as well. Looking at net worth, because we haven't, guys. EG suddenly 15,000 net worth ahead, 6,000 experience, but that actually doesn't matter at this point in the game. I'll show you scores. I'm sure people want to see scores for a second, because what really matters, I think, the buyback at this point. We can take a look at net worth, but if they can win a team fight here for Newbee, they can push down this base because of the buyback status, but they have to do it in the next 4 minutes. Their window is incredibly small.
Yeah, they'll push very quickly
3.5
as well. So, I mean, it really is. If they killed Sumail, the shots of going straight to throw in Newbee. I mean, maybe we'll have to push the creeper and then go. If they kill him, they're gonna see, even though they have so many scores. I love this game. He doesn't back at all. He's never prep, so he's always buyback.
I agree with everything you just said. And
Thank you.
okay, Sumail, he throws out a tornado. And this is actually where earlier you were talking about how Weehaw put Secret on his back in a number of games that we've seen today, right? I feel like for the glimpses I've caught of the other games, very similar to the Secret LGD game I saw where Sumail was keeping his team, Weehaw was keeping his team in the game. Sumail clearly showing he knows how to play this hero too. He was just being very disciplined with the rest of his lineup, waiting until they had the time to fight.
Yeah, Sumail's brilliant. Like, and funny, the reason that he's come to that actually, it's like, he's been forced to stay calm all game. Team's like a lot, so he's like
okay, wait, never mind. We're not gonna have an engagement. He could also just be min-maxing, right? We gotta hand it the guy. He may actually just be that good.
Middle tower has fallen.
What happened there is that 100 savage roll and then game breaks because it's game breaking. So they're
Why do you hate it so much, the Savage Roar? Would you like to explain it before the next team fight breaks out? Because we've analyzed this thing to death.
It is the top of the rush. That's the best way I think.
Oh, okay, we're gonna have the long fight of the game. Arteezy does jump in. He gets stunned up by the SK, but here comes Sumail. BKB is popped definitely into Lost Tower, doesn't care about it. He's trying to do as much AoE as he can, but does he have enough damage? They bring out Finn again. He does have buyback. Sumail is the target they need dead. The big another freezing field from PPD. Hound is gonna try to attack him. He does have that Satanic on cooldown. PPD immediately uses that Ghost Scepter as well. Hound cannot kill him off, but now there comes some people who can one smack away. Not sure. Oh, damn it. Sumail, his name being funky. Another deafening gloss coming out. Mischievous again as well with the refresher. Another nice ice wall. Hound trying to go fighting there. He doesn't have the BKB. He doesn't have the Satanic. He immediately buys back, but that doesn't refresh your cooldowns, and their range is falling. It's GG.
Yeah. Newbee will. Lucky this is like guys. Or we're in a position. We're on this thing probably out for 3 weeks. The EG are team in the world in the tournament.